Culture war. The world looks on in horror as ISIS destroys history.
Distracted walking. A new report on the dangers of not paying attention.
Dog tags. Why for some dog owners, the new licenses may not be a walk in the park.
It's Friday, February 27th, 2015. Live from Columbia University in New York City, this is Columbia News Tonight.
Good evening. Welcome to Columbia News Tonight. I'm Marissa Armas.
And I'm Mikayla Vielot. We begin tonight with new atrocities by ISIS. The Islamic terrorist group is still holding more than 200 Syrian Christians that they've kidnapped in the last few days. That includes women, children, and priests. Now, the targets of their attacks extend beyond the innocent people to the destruction of their history as well.
In this video, ISIS militants are using sledgehammers and drills to destroy precious artifacts, some dating back 2,700 years. The royal antiquities at a museum in Mosul, Iraq, are completely destroyed. Militants told CNN that the antiquities were idolized and worshipped instead of God, and they believe that by destroying them, they are doing the work of God.
It was so painful that I almost couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch that any more than I could watch the beheading. It was just horrific.
It is believed that ISIS militants want to disseminate even more cultural and ancient landmarks.
It's a cultural tragedy of a magnitude that we haven't seen the likes of.
The Mosul Museum's collection contains sculptures from royal cities throughout the region.
There are reports today that another person is being questioned in Virginia for conspiring to join ISIS. He is tied to the 3 men arraigned earlier this week in Brooklyn for trying to join ISIS. As Meredith McGraw tells us, it's another example of ISIS successfully recruiting in the U.S.
One of the 4 young men was arrested as he tried to board a flight to Istanbul. Federal investigators say that they plan to train with ISIS and return to launch attacks in the United States.
This is the concern about the lone wolf inspired to act without ever going to the Middle East.
It is estimated that 20,000 foreigners have traveled to the Middle East to join ISIS. Often these recruits feel marginalized by society. Christiane Boudreau's son Damien overcame his teenage depression by finding community in radical groups online. He left home to join ISIS forces in Syria and was killed last year. Christiane now shares the warning signs with others.
They start cutting off from their friends, start becoming more reclusive, they're being more alone. They're viewing all this propaganda more in a negative way.
From mobile phones to computers, it's not very hard to communicate with people from remote regions of the world. For those hoping to connect with ISIS, all it takes is a quick Google search. ISIS recruits with splashy Hollywood filming techniques and social media sites like Facebook and Twitter. But as counterterrorism expert Max Abrams explains, that might be a good thing.
One benefit of all of this is that usually this interaction with online radical, sources is what tips off law enforcement to intervene.
It's too late for anyone to stop Christiane's son, but she hopes her story will help prevent foreign fighters from joining ISIS forces in the future. Meredith McGraw, Columbia News Tonight.
Today, the House of Representatives failed to pass a bill to temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security. Earlier today, the Senate passed a bill that would have funded the department, but House Republicans want to tie funding for DHS to stopping the president's executive order that allows more undocumented immigrants to remain in the United States. Funding for DHS is set to expire at midnight tonight.
Extreme winter weather has caused several deaths among the homeless this year. More than 58,000 slept in shelters this week, but some New Yorkers are still left out in the cold. Liza Lucas reports.
Scott, who declined to give his last name, has been living on and off the streets with his dog for several years.
I have no paper trail. I have no work history. I have a GED and no degree, so eventually it just becomes this sort of self-perpetuating situation.
He's 26, and finding any type of job, even a part-time one, is hard. And leaving his dog behind for a shelter isn't an option.
It's a pit bull, which makes things even more difficult.
According to New York City's Coalition for the homeless population has risen nearly 8% since this time last year. And local organizations are feeling the effect.
It's putting quite a strain on us. Says that it's putting a strain on those that are without, but we have a rule, and this is organizational wide, that we won't turn anybody away.
The mission uses this chapel as overnight shelter, and now the dining hall for overflow. Recently, they've been using the serving area for sit-up sleeping.
In years past, when the temperature dropped somewhere around December, January, you'd see a slight increase and it would balance out. But what we're finding now is that this increase has been sustained and it's rising still. The most frightening thing for me that I'm seeing is that there are new faces.
To combat the issue, the Department of Homeless Services plans to devote more than $45 million in funding this year to unsheltered homeless persons, up from $35.5 million before.
Especially in these extreme cold weather conditions, New Yorkers are urged to look out for one another. If you see someone in distress, report it to city officials by calling 311. Liza Lucas, Columbia News Tonight. Leonard Nimoy, the actor who played the iconic Mr. Spock in Star Trek, died this morning at his home in Los Angeles. Nimoy began his long career as an acting teacher before landing the role that skyrocketed him to fame. And he had a love-hate relationship with that role, writing 2 autobiographies titled I Am Not Spock and I Am Spock.
Live long and prosper. We've lost the captain. You read. As I turned and my eyes beheld you, I displayed emotion. I beg forgiveness.
Since my customary farewell would appear oddly self-serving, I shall simply say, good luck.
Last year, Nimoy announced that he had chronic pulmonary disease after years of smoking. He was 83. Coming up, the latest on the deadly mass shooting in rural Missouri, and a sign of the times. After today, New York City students stay connected even in school. We'll tell you which businesses are hurt.
In Tyrone, Missouri, a gunman went door to door, fatally shooting 7 people before driving to a nearby county and killing himself. Texas County deputies found bodies in 4 separate homes in the area. After responding to a 911 call around 10:15 p.m. Thursday night, the deputies also found the body of an elderly woman who is believed to have died of natural causes. If you've ever been in New York, you know that crossing the street is much like playing a real-life game of Frogger. A new study finds that people distracted by electronic devices while walking through intersections run the risk of serious injuries. Kingsley Amayo reports.
You can hear this car revving, but people wearing the headphones cannot.
It's blatant stupidity because you're not concentrating on what you're doing, and the driver who's crossing them out don't be concentrating either.
A study published by the Journal of Community Health showed that pedestrians who crossed when a crosswalk said, "Don't walk," were distracted. That means they were talking on phones, looking down at their devices, or the most dangerous, wearing the headphones.
I'm not sure that everyone considers that to be a distraction, but it certainly is because it does inhibit a pedestrian from audible warning.
I'm here at one of New York City's busiest intersections, and I've noticed a lot of people while crossing, they're not paying attention to where they're going or to the crossing signs, but instead they're focused on their phones.
It's kind of dangerous because you could be going walking and texting or looking at your phone, Googling something. A car's turning right at the same time you're doing that. It's going to get real ugly.
According to New York City Police Department, around 12,000 pedestrians were injured and 168 killed in traffic accidents in 2013. Experts think a social campaign should be introduced to make people see the dangers.
I think if we started with a simple social marketing campaign around the city to maybe raise awareness that this is a growing problem, that people actually are getting hurt this way, I think that would be a safe place to begin, at least.
With a social marketing campaign, people might begin using their phones at the right places. Kingsley Amaya, Columbia News Tonight.
Today is the last day of New York City's ban on cell phones in public schools. Tatiana Ilienko reports from Manhattan, where students are celebrating, and some local business people are not quite as happy.
Mayor de Blasio's long-time initiative to allow cell phones in high schools is taking effect. Students will be able to bring their cell phones on Monday.
Well, to be honest, I'm really happy about it, but disappointed at the same time because, I'm a senior now, and this is happening months before I'm about to graduate.
Students tell us that not only do they have to pay $1 a day to store their phones elsewhere, but they were not able to reach their parents in the emergency. Some parents, however, are concerned that the phones could be a distraction.
If you were to bring your cell phone and was allowed to have it there, cut it off. Save it for emergency. Use it for lunchtime. Use it for breaks.
For many people, this news is very exciting. But for some, for instance, the truck behind me, this is not the day to celebrate.
Ariel Coronado works in one of the trucks that stores students' cell phones during the school day. It's kind of a code check for cell phones. Students check them in before classes and get them back after. With the new changes, Ariel is worried about losing his job.
We gotta move on. I gotta try to entrepreneur into something else. We're probably going to hang on to the trucks for another month or two to see how it goes or what happens.
It is likely that these trucks will not be getting any customers starting Monday. And exchange cards like this one will become a thing of the past. Tatiana Ilienko, Columbia News Tonight.
Advocates of net neutrality were still celebrating their big victory Thursday at the Federal Communications Commission. In the party line vote, the commissioners ruled that all users should have access to the internet's high transmission speeds. More on the story now from Andrew Johnson.
It took a simple 3-2 vote to settle 10 years of debate. FCC Commissioner Tom Wheeler voted yes, ensuring consumers and businesses will have the same access to high-speed internet service.
No one, whether government or corporate, should control free and open access to the internet.
With the vote, internet users around America, like James McKenty and Amelia Bruner, will not have to fear slowed down access to their favorite websites.
I commented on the FCC site multiple times.
Data can be transferred and communicated equally across any nodes in the network.
While many are celebrating the ruling, some are calling it a disaster. Internet service providers like Comcast and Verizon are among them. So are congressional Republicans like John Food.
The internet is going to be subject to the heavy hand of regulation as opposed to the light touch that's been utilized for so long up until this point.
Columbia University computer science professor Vishal Mishra says the public is focused on the wrong problem.
I hope 4 million people write to the FCC and demand greater competition. That's a much better solution than these net neutrality regulations.
Mishra says that the best way to guarantee that the internet will continue to get faster is for the government to create more competition among the big service providers. Mikayla?
Up next, hear how a police officer rescued 10 puppies from a filthy Soho apartment, and, a little later, a safe place to get a haircut for people not welcome at some hair salons.
it just needed.
It was a good day for 10 very cute Yorkshire Terrier puppies that were rescued from a Soho puppy mill. 2 people were arrested on animal cruelty charges, and the puppies were taken from a filthy apartment to an ASPCA facility for medical care. They are expected to find new homes by this spring. Last year, the number of animal abuse investigations tripled after the NYPD partnered with the ASPCA.
Our focus report tonight is another dog tale. Actually, it's about a new way the City of New York is going to license them. For 10 years, it has issued a new sticker for each dog each year. The owner then affixed the sticker to the metal tag on the dog's collar. Now, the stickers are about to give way to something more modern, as Justin Morton reports that has some dog owners concerned.
Pat Rowley from Patrick's Pack, a dog walking service, has been a dog walker for the past 12 years. He is happy that New York City is changing the way dog licenses are issued. At the center of the change, digital technology. How so? By using your smartphone to store proof of registration. When asked if he's worried about the new requirements for licensing dogs,
I don't think it's going to impact my business at all. I think it's good to, to have that for the dogs. Like they have the electronic chips for a couple of years now. You lose your dog and they'll find your dog. If someone finds your dog, they'll scan that chip and they'll find your dog.
An estimated 700,000 dogs live in New York City today, which is a 30% increase since 2010. Matt Lass, a New York City dog owner and licensed contractor, says the new changes to the system have minimum effect on him.
It doesn't really matter much to me because my dog is unlicensed and I probably won't get a license for him anytime soon because not that I'm big on it politically, but the less the government has to do with my life, and it's an interference. So and unnecessary. I pay plenty of taxes.
He did register for a dog license in the past and believes using the sticker to validate registration is a better choice.
I'm a bit of a Luddite. I like old, the sticker was fine with me. I had a dog, previous to this one that we used stickers. My wife and I were fine with the sticker. And actually all this electronic accoutrement of life to me is actually, it's overbearing.
Will Milheiser has a different concern.
That is a problem because I don't have the smartphone with me right now. Because I don't know if people know that smartphones in this weather, it's 19 degrees today. Like an iPhone with 65% battery life will die pretty quickly in this weather. So,
although there have been many changes to the dog licensing system, the price of registration has not changed. A dog license costs $8.50 per year for spayed or neutered dogs, and $34 per year for those that are non-spayed or non-neutered. Dog owners now only have to worry about renewing their dog licenses every 2 to 3 years instead of annually.
That's a good thing. It's like your driver's license. You don't want to go every year for your driver's license. So anything that you can do periodically like that, 2 or 3 years, it's a good thing.
Justin Morton, Columbia News Tonight.
A Rockland County couple is celebrating a huge milestone this weekend. Gernard Vielot will turn 108 on Saturday. His wife is 105. That's a combined age of 213. The couple got married 82 years ago in November of 1932, the same month that Franklin Roosevelt was elected president. Vielot still starts his day at 5 in the morning by doing push-ups. The couple has 5 children, 12 grandchildren, and 14 great-grandchildren. Happy birthday. Coming up on Columbia News tonight, in our Morningside Report, one of the best amateur basketball programs in the U.S. teaches more than dribbling and dunking.
Finding the perfect barber has proved difficult for some members of the LGBT community. In tonight's New Yorker of the Week, Sade Falabita introduces us to one Brooklyn woman using her clippers to fade this trend away.
Karen Cutswell is not your ordinary barber. At her shop, Camera Ready Cuts, LGBT customers enjoy a service they have not found with local barbers.
I didn't feel comfortable in the sense I felt like they might have been talking about me.
And her last barber wiped the smile off her face with a haircut she wasn't too fond of. Kane was tired of hearing friends in the LGBT community constantly complain about discomfort and denial of service.
I just woke up and was like, you know what, I think I need to, go to barber school, and so that I can maybe be a remedy for the problem.
I'm trusting you.
At Camera Ready Cuts, it's not just about the perfect shape-up, but also providing a place where everyone can have the best experience.
And I get a good haircut, and I look excellent and feel great.
It's this type of service that keeps customers feeling confident and coming back, even from many miles away. When local barbers in Baltimore refused to give a 5-year-old girl a Batman haircut, her transgender fathers brought her all the way to Brooklyn to find Kane.
The joy on this little girl's face when I turned her around to look in the mirror, and her parents were like, oh my goodness, she was so happy.
Because Kane isn't just selling haircuts, she says. The real product is self-esteem.
When somebody walks in, they feel one way, and depending on how I cut their hair is the factor of how they're going to feel.
Problem. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
She calls her shop Camera Ready Cuts because by the time she's finished, clients are ready for their close-ups. Sade Falabita, Columbia News Tonight.
The Riverside Church AAU basketball team once focused on being the best team in New York City. In tonight's Morningside Report, Greg Jackson tells us why the Hawks now have success both on and off the court.
John, you can't go unless he's set. So it's 50. It's your fault as much as his. Maybe more yours.
At times, he can be pretty tough.
Let's go play.
But Mark Jerome swears making these young kids do push-ups for lax defense
2 offensive rebounds
is all about love.
We do life skill classes, we do SAT prep, we do tutoring. It doesn't always work, but we try to do it. And that's always been my vision.
Mark Jerome is the director of the Riverside Hawks, an AAU basketball program for kids from 3rd grade to high school. From the Riverside Church in Morningside Heights, they've produced the likes of Kenny Smith, Chris Mullen, and Meta World Peace.
He's going to be a mid-major Division I player. He's the starting point guard at St. Joe's as a freshman.
Jerome took over the program a few years ago. His office is full of trophies and pictures of former players who now play in front of big crowds. But the program's focus has shifted to its impact off the court.
That's a big piece to me, and that's what I'm really proud about that we do, offering opportunity, other real life skills. A lot of the programs, it's all basketball.
You want them to develop into functional parts of society.
Andrew Mungeon coaches some of the youngest Hawks. On the court, he preaches using basketball, making it work for them. For many, this program is the only saving grace, keeping them off the streets.
A lot of kids think that basketball is their only escape, but you just have to use basketball as a tool.
It's easy to look back on all the trophies, banners, and all the rich history that's in this program. What Coach is trying to do with these young men is look forward to the future.
And even the kids are buying into it.
If you focus on one thing, maybe you just have to go strong and all out for it. I like a hard-working team, not a selfish team, so.
My teammates, we consider ourselves family.
And that attitude makes parents happy.
Probably the most important thing that I can tell a parent, it has to come from them. They have to want to do it. They have to want to live and breathe and dribble the ball all day long in the house, which drives me crazy, but that's what they have to do.
While Jerome is proud of the trophies, he says the real success is seeing his players win at the game of life.
My vision has been guess what, there's got to be some kind of academic component to this and life skill component to this, because if not, your ass is going to be right back in New York City.
And every day, kids here are learning to deal with success, failure, and most importantly, how to rely on more than just basketball. Greg Jackson, Columbia News Tonight.
Coming up on Columbia News Tonight, white and gold or blue and black, the dress causing an internet frenzy, and an inside tip to snag expensive designer clothing for a lot less.
There is a new debate dividing the nation, this dress. Take a look. What colors do you see? Some people claim that the striped dress looks blue and white, blue and black, while others are adamant that it is white and gold. The dress has blown up on social media, sparking debates and creating hashtags like Dress Dilemma and Dressgate. The explanation? According to science, everyone's brain interprets light differently, so that may be behind the disagreement. So Mikayla, what color do you see the photo as?
When I first saw it, it looked white and gold to me, and then the more I looked at it, I could see a little blue tint.
It also looked white and gold to me, but when I spoke with a few family members, they said it looked black and blue to them.
It's so interesting that people see two completely different things on one image.
It really is, and I'm really surprised how quickly it went viral on social media.
Yeah, it blew up on social media last night.
It really did.
It's not always easy to shop on a budget, but if you're looking to get the best bang for your buck, sample sales are the way to go. In tonight's Consumer Report, Grace Lee is here in the studio to tell us more. Grace?
Thanks, Mikayla. Sample sales happen when a designer or fashion label has too much merchandise and starts selling it for a discounted price. It's affordable, accessible, and it can be tons of fun.
It's a treasure hunt coming here. We never know what we're going to find.
It's a ritual for this couple from Seattle. Jay Soloff and Catherine Hay have been shopping at sample sales for over 6 years, and they say it's one of the main reasons they visit New York City.
I found some fabulous shirts that every time I wear them, and I've never seen shirts like that on the West Coast. Every time I wear them, people go, wow, that's great. Where did you get that? So, of course, it's fun to say, oh, trip to New York.
Yeah, right. Enough said, yeah.
There are two different kinds of merchandise in sample sales. A designer's original samples might be in the mix, along with overstocked items from retail stores. All of them with their prices heavily marked down. For example, here are the prices we found at a sample sale today. Coats that were originally $350 were marked down to $50. Dresses went from $250 to $40. Tops went from $130 to $20, and pants went from $150 to $30. Companies like Clothing Line take merchandise from different stores and hold the sample sales in their warehouse. They carry a variety of brands, from Manolo Blahniks to J. Crew. Their prices are marked down anywhere from 50 to 85%. Michael Barberino is partner at Clothing Line and has been there for 23 years. His best advice?
Best time of day to come is between 2:30 and 5 o'clock. Most people say, oh, I can't get out during that day. Exactly my point.
Shoppers also had some tricks up their sleeves.
The best advice I'd give anyone, a neophyte who's never done this before, don't have any expectations.
Correct.
You will be totally surprised, and just have some patience. Give it a good, half an hour, 45 minutes, and you'll come out with gold.
Stylist Emma Sosa, who teaches at the Fashion Institute of Technology, offers her tips for first-time sample sale shoppers.
One last but very important tip to remember is that you should, before you head to that sample sale, know what your budget is for shopping. Once in a while, you might think, there's nothing here for me. Nothing really suits me. Walk away. Don't spend your money.
Jay and Catherine say they found love in the racks too.
I think that's what told us that we really loved each other, was that we love doing this together. And I find things for you.
Yeah.
And you find things for me.
We can see each other through the other's eyes.
Mikayla and Marissa, these pants I'm wearing were originally $180, and I bought them at a sample sale yesterday for $30, which is 80% off.
Wow, that's such a great deal. That really is. Thanks, Grace. Well, that's Columbia News Tonight for this week. I'm Marissa Armas.
And I'm Mikayla Vielot. Thanks for joining. Good night.